Hey, what's up, clever investors? It's your boy Cody Sperber back again. In today's training video, we're going to be kind of whiteboarding out just how I approach motivated sellers and put creative deals together. Now, I love having these raw, honest conversations, and I'm going to be flowing off the top of my head, so if I go on some tangents, don't worry, I'll try to pull it back together and tie a little bow on it. But I want you guys to be able to visualize and see kind of my thought process of working with sellers. Now, when I was brand new in this business, it felt scary and overwhelming to go meet with the seller, to pick up the phone and try to negotiate with the motivated seller, because I didn't really know where to take the conversation. I didn't understand enough about all the different types of creative real estate strategies and just the funding strategies and how to pull it all together. And so I just kind of had one tool in my tool belt, which was just a all cash offer. And if they didn't accept my all cash offer, I would walk away from the deal. Well, another creative real estate clever investor would come right behind me and end up getting the deal. And I'd scratch my head and go, God, how did I miss that? I didn't see that hidden profit center. I didn't see how to put that together. And so hopefully by the end of this video, you start to look at it a little different and you pick up more deals and make more profits. And obviously, if you get something from this, please smash the like button. That really helps me get some feedback on, just how much you're vibing out with my videos and stuff. I do this for you guys because I already know this stuff, but it gives me some feedback. And also, I love to have a two-way conversation. If you have any advice or ideas or thoughts, I'm not standing here saying that I'm the all-knowing, end-all, be-all real estate investor. That's why I love creative real estate, is because there's a million places and ways you can take it. And so if you have some value to add, drop me a comment down below. And, I pick random comments and I respond back. I also do cash giveaways and we just have fun with it. So appreciate you for being engaged. So let's talk about this. The way I think about my real estate business, when I first got into the business, I was just a wholesaler. I didn't have any money. I didn't have very good credit. I didn't have any experience. And that was my one tool, making an all cash offer, trying to get the property under contract at a big discount. Once I have it under contract, then I would try and shop that contract around town to find a rehabber or a landlord or somebody that is looking for a good off-market deal, and I would just play matchmaker, right? And I would get paid my matchmaker fee, aka wholesaling fee. And if you want to learn more about wholesaling, I'll put a little video up right here, which can take you down that rabbit hole. But that's all I did, right? And like I said, I would walk away from deals if they said no to that offer. But now the way I think about it is more like this, all right? So leads. Lead generation is like the majority of my business. Every single day, I'm just generating leads. I'm putting out marketing. I'm grabbing data, right? Because nowadays is a lot different than back in the day. I used to put ads in the back of newspapers or, hit Craigslist up or put out bandit signs or send out some direct mail, that kind of thing. Nowadays, lead generation, there's a lot of cool ways to do it for free and a lot of cool ways to do paid lead generation. And so I grab data, I data stack, I skip trace, we cold call, we text message, we're using artificial intelligence, we're still doing direct mail. Once quarantine gets out, we're going to be hitting bandit signs really hard again. Let me think, what else? What are some of my better lead gen strategies? DMing for dollars, lots of DMing. I have teams of virtual assistants just DMing people. So, leads all day long, motivated seller leads, cash buyer leads, private lender leads, real estate agent leads. Just anybody working in the industry, I want to always be top of mind. So I really don't just think of myself as a real estate investor or just as an entrepreneur. I think of myself as a marketer. And I just happen to be in the real estate space. And the reason I am is because over here, right, I know there's big money on the other end of this transaction. I just got to figure out how to bridge the gap and get me over there to these deals. So when I generate leads, I'm basically, this is step one, all right? And then let's just go step two is conversion. Right? So this step right here is understanding what is going on with this particular lead. Let's just stick with motivated seller leads for a second. When the leads come in the door, sometimes those sellers are extremely motivated, like hyper motivated. And what are some reasons why somebody would be hyper motivated? They lost their job, they went through a divorce, they inherited an unwanted property, half their property burnt down last night, the property's old and ugly and outdated, they're being relocated, medical issues, legal issues, foundational issues. I mean, there's a million reasons why somebody all of a sudden becomes super hyper motivated. So part of my conversion process is just talking to them, asking them what and how questions. What's going on in your life to make you want to sell your house? How would you like to put this deal together? If you had a magic wand, what would the perfect scenario look like for you? If I was to be able to pay you all cash, what's the fastest you would like your cash? Would you like to get your cash in the next 7 to 10 days, or is it something you can afford to wait 3 months or 30 days or 60 days? By asking these questions, I'm taking their temperature and I'm understanding along this conversion process, oh wow, they're extremely motivated. They need cash, or they don't need cash that bad. And I'm asking questions like, what's going on with the property itself? Tell me about the property. Tell me about the repairs. And now they're breaking down. Hey, the property was built in 1980. I've never touched it. It has been a rental property of mine. I haven't ever updated it or rehabbed it or added any square footage or anything. By getting that information, I'm starting to understand, wow, this property, probably being in its original condition, needs a ton of work. I'm going to have to really lean in and identify how much work it's going to need and what that's going to cost. I'm also asking questions about their mortgage structure. All right? Here's the house, right? You can start to see this house is not just a house. There's the house itself, there's the rental concept, there's the ownership concept, there's the financing concept, there's the repair concept, there's what's going on with the other houses around it. I have to just keep asking questions and being a really great listener. Most of the conversion process, and I told this in another video, when I first got into real estate, I was not a good negotiator. I didn't know the what and how questions. I didn't understand what all the different, which is this next part, what all the different deal types there are and strategies that I can roll into. I only had one tool in my tool belt, which was rehab or wholesaling. And so two things I did have that were really, really important during this process is I had authenticity. People can feel that I was there to help. I was there to serve. I was there to help. I didn't have any hidden agenda. I talked to them, and this is why new car salesmen do really well their first month, is because they're not trying to be slick. They don't have creative, perfect ways to overcome every objection. A lot of times I would ask for help, which actually served me in my first couple deals, is because I would say, look, I wish I had the perfect solution for your housing problem. I don't even know if I'm the right person for the job. I might need your help to help put this together, but if we can figure it out together, I would love to do the deal. I'm here, I want to do the deal. So I had authenticity. The second thing I had was enthusiasm. People felt my intensity. They felt my obsession of wanting to be in this business and wanting to help and wanting to own real estate and do real estate deals. And that obsession did give me some advantages. That intensity gave me some advantages. My other competition would come in, they'd be skilled, they would say everything perfectly, they came across too polished and too robotic, and then here I am, authentic and enthusiastic, and boom, it helped. But I would ask, just to kind of step back, I would ask about the mortgage structure because I need to know, is it free and clear, or is there a mortgage, right? This is going to determine my next step here, right? So step 3 is getting control. In order for me to go from conversion to control, I need to know which strategy I want to do. Do I want to wholesale? Do I want to rehab? Do I want to do creative? Or do I want to buy and hold? All right? But I can't make a decision of which of these is going to be the best until I generate the leads, I ask a ton of questions. I need to know the mortgage structure. I need to know repairs. I need to know lowest they would accept as far as what price they would accept. Let's think. What else? What other things I really want to know? I want to know how they own it. Right? Do they own it? Is it a single individual? Is it a husband and wife? Is it in a trust? Is it in a partnership? Is it an LLC? Are they, what's going on with the ownership? Are they current on payments? All right? So there's a lot of questions I got to ask here. And by the way, guys, I have a lot of training here at Clever Investor. These free training videos, that will give you some high-level insight. But if you really want to go deep and you want to start to obsess over this stuff and really have a systemized approach at working your real estate business, from the tools we use, to the scripts we use, to the contracts we use, to the calculators, to the everything, and you want to be able to pull all this together, there's going to be a pinned comment down below. Just click that and check that out. But to move from conversion to control, I need to know if it's owned free and clear, what are my options, right? If it's owned free and clear, all of these are my options, right? I could do all of them. If there's a mortgage on the property, I need to know how much. Now, what happens if somebody owns or owes as much as the property is worth? Can they accept a discounted offer? Let's say they owe 100 and it's worth 100. Can they accept 50? Can they accept 75? Right? They can't or they can, but they'd have to come out of pocket that difference. Or you have to do something called a short sale, which is going back to the bank and seeing if they'll take less. Banks normally don't take less unless they're in default. So that's why I wanted to know if they're current on payments. And so if they own it, if there's a mortgage on it and they owe, by the way, this is the other thing, ARV. I want to understand ARV as well. But once I start to understand this stuff, I can go, they own it free and clear. Well, now when I show up and I go into the offer stage, right, here's how I'm going to approach it. I'm going to say, you have options, right? We can list it, right? My partner is a real estate agent. We can list your property and try. You mentioned over here that you want to get your cash in a very short amount of time. I just want to let you know, if we can't put a deal together, we can still list your property, but it's going to take, 30 to 90 days, right? But we'll be able to get you a lot more money for your property. Number 2 is we can make you an all-cash offer. All right? Now, normally when we make an all-cash offer, there's going to be a little bit of a discount. The good news is, and I'll flip this over here in a second and show you how we do it. But, it's not too far off from what you're probably going to get by the time you list it, pay closing costs, commissions, repairs, fix stuff, all that stuff, and wait 30 to 90 days. I'll be within probably 10 to 15% of that number, but I can pay you by next Friday. Since you have so much equity, we can also do something where you're the bank. Now we're getting into creative real estate investing. And I picked up 4 properties in the last month and a half, all creatively, where once I understand free and clear a mortgage, free and clear goes to what's called seller carryback. That means they're the bank. They're going to take, I don't go to a bank, I don't have to use credit, I just work out a deal where they sell me the real estate. They lend me the money to buy their own real estate by creating what's called a note. And they can carry back the mortgage. And you can go into a mortgage calculator right now, and you can literally just open up a mortgage calculator, and you can say, all right, for $0 down, so that's my down payment, and 0% interest over 30 years, and I'm going to borrow $150K. And you put it in the mortgage calculator, and it's going to spit out some amount, right, which is PI, principal and interest. And then the other part of that is TI, which is taxes and insurance, which you can look up. But now you can just basically say, hey, if rent in the area equals, let's just call it $1,500, but this $150K PI TI is, $950. Is there a spread between the two? Yeah, there's a big spread, right? $550 a month spread. So that's good cash flow. Well, if you don't have to go to a bank, you don't have to use your credit, you don't have to put any money down, but you're giving them the price they want. Let's say your all cash offer was going to be, let's just call it $90K, and they're like, no, I don't want to do that, but I'll let you buy it from me from the price I want, but I'll be your bank. So now this is a creative terms offer. You understand what I'm saying? So if they own it free and clear, this is where your head goes. And if there's a mortgage, you're going to do what's called a sub 2. All right? And a sub 2 is, let's just say, same scenario. House is worth $150. Okay? But they have a mortgage on the property to, let's just call it B of A, and they bought it maybe, let's say, I'm making up stuff, maybe they bought it 15 years ago. And they paid it down, and they only owe $85K. Or $90K or whatever. And the mortgage payment is $1,000 a month. Well, I can step in and I can start paying that $1,000. So if you just lost your job, which a lot of people just did, and I show up and I say, hey, look, I can either do one of two things. I can pay you $90K cash, but you owe $85, so you're only going to pocket $5,000. The house needs a ton of work. I can pay $90K cash. If I pay any more than that, by the time I sell it to a rehabber or wholesale it to a rehabber, they're going to need to make repairs, and the house is older. It's not going to make me a lot of money. I might make $10,000 or $5,000 flipping it over to a rehabber. So therefore, I could pay you $90,000 cash, but if we get creative, I could just step in and start paying your mortgage payment. All right? And that's called a subject to. You're taking over control of the real estate subject to the existing mortgage staying in place. And they might say, okay, yeah, I just don't want to have the burden of dealing with the house. Let's make this more realistic, because that's subject to. The other one's called an agreement for deed. Now, an agreement for deed, all right, also called a wraparound mortgage, is what if they say, well, I want to do that, but I'm not going to give you all of this equity. I want to keep some of this equity. And I say, okay, instead of a subject to, let's roll up to agreement for deed. Well, obviously, if I'm going to take over the responsibility of paying this mortgage payment, I need to make some money. I'm an investor. So how much of your equity would you like to keep? Well, I want to keep $30,000 of my equity. Okay, so you owe $85. Let's just add $30K on top of it. All right, what is that? $115? Yeah. So that means out of the $150, that equals its ARV, and we're going to do $30K as a second mortgage. We're going to do $85K to B of A. All right? And what we're going to do is we're going to call it an agreement for deed. We're going to take these two, we're going to create a new instrument called an agreement for deed. We're going to wrap them together. We're going to leave your B of A loan in place. I'm going to take over making these payments. What we're going to do is I'm going to do a let's just call it a 5-year or 7-year or 10-year agreement for deed. And you want to push that out as far as possible. And what's going to happen is I'm going to say, look, you can get your equity, your 30K equity, but you got to wait 5 years or 7 years or 10 years to get it. But I'm going to lock it in now. I'm not going to make you any payments on this amount because I'm responsible for this. And the property only rents for $1,500. So I'm going to keep the $500 in cash flow for being a manager of this deal. But you're never going to be stressing about this property again. You're going to move away. And in 5 years, this agreement for deed's going to come to fruition, and then I'm going to have to pay you your 30K, or in 7 years or in 10 years. And they go, okay, I'll do that deal. Now they're out of the financial pain of dealing with the house. I get the cash flow, and then here, let me show you what I do on the back end. This is when it gets really, really cool. So if the acquisition strategy equals a REHAB, right? And so it's ARV equals 150K. B of A equals, what did we say that was? I forgot. B of A equals 85K. There's a second now for 30K. And let's just say it's a 5-year wrap. So now it's costing $1,000 a month, but it rents typically for $1,500. I fill out my paperwork, they say yes, title moves into my name, but the mortgage stays in place. This second gets wrapped. I don't pay it until the end of the wrap comes due 5 years from now. But then look what I do on the second side. This is acquisition. Look at disposition. This is where creative real estate gets really fun. And this might be one of my longest videos I've ever posted, but hopefully you hang in there. Smash the like button if you're getting something from this, because woo, we're talking real estate today, baby. All right, so now on the back side of the deal, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do what's called a lease option. Option, if I can spell. All right, so now what I do is I put out little signs and ads that say buy like rent, right? Rent to own, buy like rent, bad credit okay, foreclosure's okay. And then somebody comes along and they say, all right, what's going on? And I say, I have this house, it's built in 1980, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot, whatever, it's in its original condition. Normal rents are $1,500, but here's what we're gonna do. Bad credit, okay, you're gonna buy like rent. You're gonna put down, now we're gonna have 2 documents, a rental agreement plus an option agreement. All right, so think of this. Now there's 2 documents. Instead of just renting, I'm gonna have a rental agreement that says you can rent for $1,650, okay, and this is good for 2 years, all right, and here's all the terms of the rental agreement. Plus, you'll have the right to buy this house that's worth $150 today, but with an option, you're gonna pay me $20K or some amount. Sometimes you get 10K, 7K, 15K. I just got one that was 100K. But you're going to ask for some amount down for the right to buy this property for 100, and let's just call it, if it's worth 150, let's just call it 170K. And you can be playful with this number. Sometimes it can be 150. It's worth 150. You're going to lock in 150. Maybe you up it like how I just did. We could call it 170 or 160 or 165. Basically, this is going to be your profit if they execute the option. And so $20,000 is the deposit. You're going to have the right within 2 years, it's a 2-year option, to buy it for $170 on or before this date. So now they have, and that attaches to this rental agreement. So now what we're saying is this person has the right to buy the property for $170 anytime within 2 years, on or before the 2-year time frame. They paid $20,000 for the right to buy it for this amount. And let's just be fair, let's just call this $160. So you only mark it up $10K, but they give you 20 grand down. This is a non-refundable option deposit. That non-refundable option deposit can, if they don't execute the option, they walk away from that 20 grand. But you're also getting this extra cash flow. So now you're making 650 times 12, plus you got 20K as the deposit. So you're getting premium rents, you're getting the deposit, plus you get depreciation. If I could spell. What else do you get? You get future appreciation. Still can't spell. You get tax benefits. Do you understand what I'm doing right here? This is why creative real estate investing is so exciting. I literally just, off the top of my head, modeled out similar to like the last 4 deals that I just did, where if I would have just showed up and said, here's my all cash offer, they would have said, sorry, this isn't going to work for me. But I show up and I'm like, look, I got more than one tool in my tool belt. Let's go ahead. I did one that was a pure subject to, one that was a wraparound mortgage, one that was a seller carryback, or 2 were seller carrybacks, wraparound mortgage, and a subject to. All within the last 2 months. So I'm building wealth. I get massive tax write-offs. We're getting above average rents, above average deposits, everything. This is where the world is heading, by the way. Over the next 12 to 24 months, I think these types of deals are going to explode because motivation levels are going through the roof, but people still have a lot of equity and they're still holding on to the past. So as we come out of quarantine, I think we're going to see a lot more of these types of deals get big. I think we're going to see a lot more so-called gurus teaching this stuff, right? Because we're starting to see it on our marketing side of things. A lot of people want to do these creative deals versus selling at a big discount. So guys, if you got something from this video, first smash the like button, do me that favor. I know this one went longer, but you know, you go into the world of creative real estate and it's literally a rabbit hole. There's so many different ways to skin the cat, and that's really what the point of this video was, is just to think like a transactional engineer. My mentor worked so hard whiteboarding these kind of scenarios out so that way when I did show up at a seller's house, I didn't just have that one tool. I was flexible, I was nimble, and I was a deal maker. And that's what I want for you. If you got something from this, smash the like button, drop me a comment down below, and I really, really appreciate you hanging out and watching this one. More to come. Till next time, I'm Cody Sperber, the Clever Investor, signing off for now. Till then, take care, comb your hair, Sperber out.